Hello and welcome back to the Simple Ground Homestead. Today I'm working on building some fence and I thought I might show you some of the tricks that I use. I've built a lot of fence in my life, miles of it, and I feel like maybe it's something I could share with you guys to make the job a little easier for you. In this video we're going to take a look at setting a post. The post I'm going to use today is a black locust tree post. Still has the bark on it. It's a rough post, not one of those fresh milled ones that you can get from the lumber yard. Good solid posts make a good tough fence, and I'm going to show you some of the tricks that I've learned over my years of experience, and hopefully it'll help you out on your farm. Without further ado, let's head out there and set that post. Now of course you start out by marking out your hole. I like to work my way around the hole with the shovel. Now when you make a hole for your post, you want to leave room to put some dirt back in. It's kind of a fine balance. If your hole's too wide, you'll have a lot of loose soil around your post, and it could make for a wobbly post. But if you make it too narrow, then you won't have any room at all to put your dirt back in, pack it in tight. So keep that in mind as you dig. I leave about 2 to 3 inches on each side of the post all the way around. It gives me a little bit of room to wiggle it around, and still gives me enough firm dirt around the post to pack it in tight. To break this down into a very simple thought process, all we're doing while we're digging a hole is loosening what's in the hole and then lifting it out. So here I am. I like to work my way around the hole, and you see me throwing the shovel in there and then loosening it up, and then once it's all loose, it's easy to just lift out. I lift it out till it's clear enough to see the hole again, and then I'll start working my way around to loosen it all back into the center. Now you'll see that I have some really loose sandy soil. It's really easy to dig. If you're dealing with rocks or hardpan, you'll want to have a bar as well as a shovel. And don't be scared. You'll have that moment where you want to just toss your shovel across the field. But once you get past that hump, you'll find out that your hole is dug for you once you have all that hard stuff out. So just keep going. It's easier than you might think. You'll also notice that I'm not using a mechanical digger here. Post holes diggers sure are handy when you're digging 100 post holes, but when you're only digging around 20 like I am, it doesn't take all that long to dig. Let's take a look inside the hole. Same technique here, just a little better view. Loosen the soil and then lift it out. I'm working my way around to get it loose, and then here it comes, right out. It gets a little harder as it gets deeper, and the trick to get the soil on top of your shovel is to give it a little shake. You lift up and then push in. Here, I'll loosen a little more soil so you can see what it looks like. Alright, you see the first scoop's pretty easy, and then you have to do a little shaking action to get that soil on top of the shovel. Now watch out! It's really common to dig your hole at an angle instead of straight down and plumb. Pay attention to the head of your shovel instead of the handle. If the head, not the handle, is going straight down along the side of your hole, you'll have a better chance of digging a plumb hole. You'll get the hang of it as soon as you have a shovel in your hand. You'll know what I'm talking about. Some people would believe that you couldn't dig a deep hole with only a shovel. I'm here to tell you that it's possible. Though it has a little bit of a learning curve, it's not as easy as it looks. It's not as hard as it looks either. That should be deep enough. And once you're in position, down it goes. I think I dug my hole too deep. Well, I guess you can see I didn't measure my post as well as I should. Good opportunity to teach you how to lift one of these things out of a deep hole. So, to lift this thing out of the hole, you want to bend your knees, and get a grip on it as low as you can with your back straight. Lift up. You're not going to get it all the way out, so you rest it against the side of the hole, regrip, and lift again. Then you can just drag it out. Again, this post is as heavy as I am. Be smart. Don't break your back. Alright, now I threw a little extra dirt in the bottom. Get the post up to the right height. I lift it in there. Now I like the height, so I'm going to tamp down the bottom of the hole with the post. Anytime you add new material, you kind of want to pack the bottom in there. The post is a pretty good tool to pack it in. Now I'm taking a good look to try to determine what side of the post I want on the outside. And I'm going to take a look to make sure it's sitting straight up and down. With a little bit of wiggling, it'll stand on its own. Then I can take a look at it to see if it's plumb. Here, I'll take a step back and take a look at it. It's easiest to see if your post is standing straight up and down if you take a step back. I'm not only looking at what's keeping this post straight up and down, but I'm looking at the sides to see how the wire will run along the outside of this post. That's what I'm doing over there as well. I don't really like what I see, so I'm going to come over and adjust it a little bit more. Remember to use your legs to lift as you move this thing around. I try to get the flat side on the outside. The bumpy, knobby side of the post just doesn't seem to work as well for the wire. It's not as easy to staple to, and when you look back down your fence line, it just doesn't look so pretty. Once you have your post set where you want it, throw a few scoops of dirt in the hole. Now we're not packing it down so much it can't move. We're just putting the dirt in there so it'll stay straight and we can get our final straight measurements before we tamp it all the way in. This is what we fence builders call tamping. You'll see that I'm using the tail end of my shovel and that the post wiggles a bit at the very beginning. The first few inches of tapped soil doesn't make the post solid. It just makes a solid base, which is very important. But you'll do fine adjustments for the post all the way up until the post is so solid you can't move it. You can see as I tamp on this side, the post is tipping over. I'll come around on the other side and push it back straight again. That's just the way it goes as you set the post. I'll try to skip ahead a little ways because it's just as boring as it looks. And then you can see what it looks like when the post is a little more firm in the hole. Here I've made it to the top of the hole. You can get a better idea of what's going on. It takes quite a bit of tamping to get a post in good and tight. They do have a tool for it, but the tail end of my shovel works really good in this soft soil. After tamping with the shovel, you do a little pole dance. Just tap that all down with your feet, make it look good and smooth. Well, here we go. My post is in, and it's good and tight. Thanks again for joining me on my journey on simple ground. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe. Remember that I take a good look at the comments, so go ahead and leave a suggestion on what you want to see next. I'd love to have good content. To check out my other videos on fencing, click on the post and I'll leave a link to a playlist. Or click right over here on the right on this video about how to use some fence structures and what they look like. You know, I just have to tell you, thanks again for your support. Really, things have been picking up around here, and I've been hearing from you that you've liked what you've seen and that you'd give me suggestions on how to do things different. I love all of that, and please keep it up. I'll do my best here to give you content that you want to see. Thank you, and we hope to see you again soon.